Okay. What was that message I just saw? No idea. Okay. Look at all this crap I do not need. Okay, I need to get my stuff together. I need to actually get my gear again. Oh, okay. Sure, let's deal with this. Hold on. Oh, whoops. Yeah, I kind of forgot that my... Ow! Kind of forgot that my teleporter was there. Just gonna kind of hang out here for a minute. Gather a crap ton of money. Not that, let's be fair, I really need a crap ton of money. Oh my god, someone save me from all the monies. The drops. There are billions of them. Didn't realize just how good this weapon was until you kind of see what it's doing to the pirates. Just watching them vanish. Oh, you little jerk. Come here. No, we don't do that here. Stop that. Gonna be so angry if another frost key drops right now. Like, you don't even know how angry I'm gonna be after all the hours I had to put in. Looks like we will not be seeing a Dutchman, which is a fact that I'm completely okay with. Okay, let's go grab items. Do I? I don't care. I don't care. Cool. Okay. Quick stack those. All right. So... Is there anything I particularly cared about that dropped? Let's see. I need to put that away. That away. That away. It's just stuff that I got while I was farming that I didn't eat. Like, we haven't gotten another of, I believe. Okay, let's turn the mushroom farm on. I'm not 100% sure why these doors are not working correctly. I know why the traps aren't working correctly. It's because I don't have a timer on them. And that's fine. That's not something I'm actually particularly bothered with right now. Okay. Vanity. Do I not have any room for weapons? Oh, wait, hold on. That's a duplicate. Anything else in here a duplicate? I think we get rid of an extractinator. I don't need another one of those. I don't need any more money. I'm gonna pull out Betsy's wings. I might end up using those. Okay, that's a mount. I do not need 2 of these. I also don't need 2 of those. And those are armor. Do I have a chest for armor? Sure. This is my chest for armor. That's what I'm sticking to. One of these had an extra slot in it. There we go. Gun. Because reasons. Why are you in here? Should be in there with the other wings. Okay, where are my items? As you can see, drops happened at some point. Need pink gel. I have plenty of those elsewhere. Just trying to see if any of this was actually items I needed for any reason. I don't think so, but worth checking. Okay. So, don't need any of that. There's my angler hat, angler vest, and angler pants, which we will need in the extremely near future. There's my golden fishing rod. I will need a prismite. I'm not going to bring out the golden bug net, though. I don't think that's really needed right now. Pumpkin pie, healing potion. Oh, greater healing potions. Hold on to the vial of venom. We're going to use that later. Actually, by later, I mean right now, because I'm thinking about it right now. Okay, anything in here that I actually need? Hey, look, we have 71 platinum. I did actually end up getting the portable cement mixer, so let's go ahead and do that combo now, while I'm thinking about it. Architect Gizmo Pack, I finally have it. I also have keys. Now, you might just notice how many keys I have. Yeah, that's a thing that... Oh, I can sell this. That's a thing that ended up happening. I ended up getting... Or ended up doing a fair amount of farming to try to get all the keys. That way I could go and do stuff. And the big problem was that, you know, I got all of these keys, and it took the better part of forever. Where's my other bait? Okay. It took the better part of forever to get all these keys. I think it was a total of like 24 hours of farming, something like that. And the frost key, or the frozen key, took so long to actually get. I couldn't tell you exactly why it took so long to get that particular key. All I know is that it did. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put the seeds in this one. then pull out... that stuff. Because I will need that stuff in order to make potions in the somewhat near future. Okay. But yeah, we have all of our keys. I'll show you the arenas that I ended up building in order to make this happen. I forgot I can sell that too. And everything that's in those. It was a very, very long farming that I did. Some of it I did overnight. Some of it I did kind of while watching what was going on. Just because of how long it ended up taking to actually do some of them. It took quite a long time. We may end up using the Celestial Shell. I still haven't decided on it. Right, so things that we're going to be doing today. We are still going to do a couple of fishing quests to kind of knock some of those out. But the main focus of our play right now is that we are going to be... prepping for Moonlord, and then doing Moonlord. So that's the goal. We're going to end up prepping for it, and then we're actually going to go do Moonlord towards the end of today's stream, once I am confident that I'm ready. So this was my first, or sorry, this was my second farm. You guys saw me actually create the first farm. So what I found, and what really annoyed me when I figured this out, I ended up finding out that it was taking forever to get what I wanted when I was in the ocean. I actually ended up getting a fair number of drops in the ocean that ended up helping. So I think that like a number of my corruption keys that I have now did come from ocean farming, which I'll show you the ocean farm again in just a second. So we did get a number of things from the ocean. I think the major issue that we ended up having out of the ocean directly was how are you here? A fair bit of the issue with the ocean farming came from just the fact that I was getting a lot of glow stick drops, which were not ideal. We were also getting a lot of pirate maps, which I have a ton of them. If you didn't see them in my inventory earlier, in my chests, we ended up getting a ton of treasure maps. And, you know, hey, that was great and all, but it was clogging up my inventory, especially when I was trying to actually farm for keys. I just wasn't able to get the keys because of how much stuff was in my inventory at the end of the day. Luckily, they were on the ocean floor when I went down to try to pick them up, so the good news was I did eventually actually get my keys. But there was a risk that I would not be able to actually pick up keys. That's eventually why I moved to this location. And the entire idea here is that because I have the jungle biome available to me, I ended up getting, what are they called? Ipamas, or whatever they're called, that would end up spawning a little bit off-screen. You haven't seen very many of them because the dragon's been killing them as soon as they show up. But the Ipamas would spawn, and they would spawn fairly quickly. I'll show you what that looks like in the actual ocean once we get there. But they'd spawn very, very quickly. They'd come up to me. They would die. The problem is that I was on top of my farm. I was above it. So items were dropping... I'll go for one more prismite. Items were dropping away from me into the ocean and going to the ocean floor, which would mean that I would have to get out of my safe zone and go down to the ocean floor. And because of the way the game works, there's a limit that you're only allowed to have about 400 items on the ground at any given point in time. Now, this is worldwide. So what that meant was that I couldn't really AFK farm effectively because there was every chance that just at basically, there's my prismite. Basically at any time, I could have a situation where, I'm just gonna go grab that apple real quick. Or not. Anything I want to get, we'll get rid of the gel. Cool. But basically what could happen is at effectively any time, we could just lose out on a key because it would despawn, which I didn't consider to be a particularly wonderful thing that could happen. Oh, you know what? Not that I particularly need money, to be honest, but... So yeah, I was very unhappy with the prospect that I could just lose keys. So we ended up just going elsewhere, which brought us to there. I did a bunch with teleports, so I did end up buying a ton of wire and wiring up 3 different teleports. One going to my ocean farm, which will be taking that teleport in just a second. One going to... Perfection. I should also get rid of that vial venom. That's a material. The flask of venom is what I actually want. We'll get rid of the vial. Wunderbar. So yeah, there was just not a lot of goodness going on in that direction. Okay, I am very glad that was armor that I can recover, because I pressed the wrong button. Need to grab my tiki staff, though. That was just bad. Which did I put my tiki staff in? Warrant staff. Pygmy staff, there we are. I also want the Betsy's Wrath, because I have a use for that. Okay. Try that again. Glad I didn't deal with the angler stuff. Alright, so. Put that away again. I'll organize all of this on, basically on my own time. Most of this stuff we don't care about. Actually, I don't need 2 yellets. I can get rid of that. Okay. So the first thing I had to do was I had to get the keys. So we got all the keys. So I had 3 different farms going on. The first one, actually the first 2 you've already seen. This ended up being my other farm. So the problem is that the ice key, the frozen key, took 24 hours. I had like 6 plus of all the rest. I only got 1 frozen key. I ended up having to make this frozen biome right outside my house because I needed something that was easier to farm with than just waiting for stuff to spawn. Because I could wait for stuff to spawn in a jungle biome that ended up working out fairly well. But once I didn't want jungle anymore and didn't want a jungle key to spawn, I needed just an ice biome. And the best way to get ice stuff to spawn, the quickest way, that was also safe for me, turned out to be pirates. So this was the farm. I'll go ahead and kill the dragon real quick. This was the farm I ended up using first. Now, you're not seeing the full thing because I actually did end up wiping this farm a little bit. But we have corruption, we have ice, and we have jungle. And we also had, I had traps all along the edges here that would be shooting straight down. I did end up getting rid of and not using the dragon, but you'll see exactly how many enemies are spawning right now, and I don't even have a... There's no water candle up right now. So what ended up happening is all of these enemies would just get killed over and over and over, which was fantastic for me. And then the problem was this. So you'll notice I did just get some items, and I did just get, like... I did just get a little bit of money. But the problem is all of the items are floating down to the bottom here, which didn't work out for me. So the bottom here would just be filled with items, typically coins. I wouldn't get any of the items, so stuff was going to despawn. So I ended up having to get rid of this. Luckily, I was able to get some corruption keys out of it by the end of the day. But you can also see that I ended up getting a lot of other items that I did not need. So there's, you know, tons of items that ended up just kind of sitting here, ending up doing nothing. We did end up using not so much dart traps, but the spear traps ended up getting used a lot. The spiky ball traps, actually, I found to be particularly useful. Hopefully you guys will end up seeing the number of enemies I ended up killing throughout all of this. They'll hopefully show up at some point. But we were talking about, you know, thousands and thousands of enemies killed in order to generate just those 4 keys over the course of, as I said, a number of hours. So I'm having 3 farms. Thankfully, we did end up getting all the keys. So now we get to go actually spend them, which is kind of exciting. So we're going to go actually use our keys. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while. And we're actually going to go get ourselves some stuff. We have to go pretty deep into the dungeon in order to make this happen. So we're going to be kind of making our way down there. And then I'm going to have to farm a little bit because I have a couple of potions I want to make. Prismites were one of those potions, so we actually do have that. I was able to farm up kind of as I went. I was able to get myself a fair few mushrooms. So mushrooms are not going to be an issue that I'm going to have to worry about, thankfully. Yeah, our chest was pretty deep in here, if you recall. Now, there is the hope that as I'm going down, one of these skulls will give me a Nazar. It is a pretty rare drop. It's a 1% drop off of these enemies, and these enemies are not exactly common. So, I'm not incredibly hopeful for this. I'm just going to kind of hang out here for a minute. See about getting my health back. Okay. So the problem is, I don't remember exactly, like, most of the chests were down there, if I remember correctly. We're going to go up first, though, because I want to double check just to make sure we don't miss one. Because I do want all of the items. There's only one item we will not be getting, because it's Crimson only, and we don't have a Crimson world. And I didn't feel like off-screening going into a Crimson world. What I'll probably end up doing is, after Moonlord, I'll end up going to Crimson. So here's our first chest. It's the hollow chest. Achievement unlocked, big booty. Because we're going to get one of these chests. The most important thing here is the rainbow gun. Bone welder, you know, danger sense potion, sure. We don't really care the most about this stuff. The rainbow gun's the only thing we particularly care about. And it shoots rainbows. It is a magic weapon. So I have that. I don't think it's particularly good from what I'm able to see. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. This is the first time I've ever actually opened any of those chests, as you saw, by getting the achievement. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this gun is very good, and I just need to test it more. Presumably, we'll find out at some point. Looks like it does potentially pierce. Okay. But until then, we'll go ahead and pull out my sword again. So we're going to be, as I said, prepping for Moonlord. So we're going to be going after a bunch of different ingredients. So like ebon koi, so that way I can... you know, we'll be going after ebon koi, so that way I can, you know, make some wrath potions. I already have the stuff I need for regeneration potions. So we're going to be getting as many potions as I possibly can get set up. And then we're going to go after the final one of the, whatever they're called, the Celestial Towers, whatever they're called. Because the Moonlord spawns about 1 minute after the last one is killed. So I need to be ready and raring to go. There's my jungle chest. I need to be ready to go basically as soon as that last one dies. So this gets me the Piranha Gun. Don't care about any of the rest of this. Not really. So now I can shoot piranhas at people. And it looks like this is like one of those held guns. Ow. So I hold it and hits them. There's the Scourge of the Corruptor. It's our next one. Javelin that turns into Eater of Worlds. Which, you know, hey, great, super. I don't mind that. Now, if I remember correctly, our ice chest was somewhere in this direction. There it is. This is the one we actually care about. Oh, and it starts godly. Interesting. So, Staff of the Frozen Hydra. So this thing will just flat start eating people. See, it's just going to immediately just start saying hi. Oh well. We did all that we intended to do. There was kind of nothing else for me to do in there. Okay, so we got all of our items. I only think we're going to be ending up using, like, 2 of them. Where is my... Don't tell me the goblin. No, there he is. Okay. Cool. So, so for the Frozen Hydra Staff, best modifier is going to be Ruthless. Kind of as usual. There we go. For Betsy's Wrath, best modifier will be Mythical. Come on. God, I'm glad I had all this money. Can we, please? There we go. So there's Betsy's Wrath. Just for fun. So we could do the Piranha Gun, which is best is Unreal. I'm so glad I had all this money. Like, I get to actually do this. Please? Wow. The game is really unhappy with the amount of farming I did. It wants to take all that money back from me.